Boom chickadee chanka, how's it going everybody? It's the Flying Pig here, hope you're all having a good one. Thanks for joining me tonight, bit of a late night show, there was no Monday analysis yesterday, apologies for that, but we are here today. Still dental issues are with me, so apologies for that, but I'm jumping on here just to give you a bit of Man United news daily, just to talk about some of the stuff that's going on. And mainly, it's sort of Ed Woodward talking shite at the moment, to be fair, you know? Just typical Ed Woodward, really. Ed Woodward talking shite. That's a good summary of it. But no, in all honesty, he's been talking to a fans forum about, potential United signings. Basically shooting out lots of hot chips of freaking knowledge is the lad. From that big potato head of his. So it's, we'll see what happens in the summer. Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words, Ed. Let's see what happens. I mean, to be fair, he did sign Bruno Fernandes. We did get Garlo in the January transfer window. We did sign Maguire. We did sign Wan-Bissaka. We did sign James in the summer transfer window. So we have signed some players there. But obviously United are quite a way away from the top teams in the league. We need to invest in key areas. Absolutely. Need to spend a shitload of money still. So at least he is sort of admitting that, or at least saying that to the fans. But really, it's just covering up, isn't it? I mean, maybe it's just really because the fans have been getting so much on his case and literally threatening him and his family's safety, that maybe they have decided to maybe spend a little bit of money for their own safety there. Do you know what I mean? Because somebody might stick a bloody flare up their jacksie. Do you know what I mean? That really would be a freaking baked potato, wouldn't it, with Ed Woodward with a flare up him? Anyway. Thanks for joining me, everybody. We'll get into it. We'll get into some of the other talking points in the Manchester United world right now and football in general. So thanks for stopping by. I can see there's a bunch of you bloody legends that are already tuning in here right now. I can see JP, Matt Rush, Wallace Montcroy Stewart. Who else is there in here? The Primot, thanks very much for stopping by. Marek Stachowski, Archie, Big D, The Saint, Man United Van Cam, Jonathan Carlin, Alex, Stephen Zevon, and I may have missed somebody there, but I apologise. Alex Rudd, how you doing, my friend? Everybody, thanks very much for stopping by this random Tuesday evening for a little bit of chat about that potato-headed man at the helm. So, Eddie Woodward. Eddie, Woody, Wood. What would you do if you were Eddie Woodward? I don't really know, but I think I would probably sign some players so my safety isn't, at risk. Because, it seems like that happened. We were trying to sign Bruno Fernandes for a year. He was just sort of going back and forward, umming and ahhing about it, kicking the tyres, so to speak. And eventually, it took somebody basically doing like an assault on Precinct 13 on his freaking house. And literally putting flares over the top there. And, for it to actually cement itself in his head that he needs to sign some players for Manchester United. So it happened in the end. We did sign Bruno Fernandes. Say what you want about United's January transfer window. It was a bloody good window, wasn't it? Like, considering the other teams and what the other teams did in terms of business, United did pretty damn well. Bruno Fernandes was obviously the signing of the window, could prove to be a huge catalyst for us. That could be a great signing. Really could be. Great bit of business. Not a huge amount of money in today's modern era. It is obviously an insane amount of money. But in today's era, it's not really crazy money. So it could prove to be a good signing for Manchester United. That's one of the problems that has been sorted out there. Hopefully, anyway. I mean, it could be another Angel Di Maria situation, but I doubt it. I hope not. I think he's going to be a class player for us. He looks hungry. He looked good in his first game. Amongst a pretty bang average lackluster performance, but it was pretty damn decent from him, and I'm hoping he's going to be good. If you look what he did at Sporting, that is a good signing. We got a Garlo, aka the coronavirus kid, on the last day of the transfer window, which was a brilliant loan signing just for 6 months. He seems passionate, seems like he loves United, wants to play for United, could be sitting over there quarantined like E.T. at the end of E.T., sat in a plastic bubble over there, just chilling, watching whatever he wants to watch on the TV, chilling, getting paid 300 grand a week by Shanghai Shenhua to do that. But no, he wants to be over here in England. He wants to be over here in the cold of Manchester playing football for United wearing the red shirt. So I think that's a pretty cool signing as well, to be fair. I'm happy with that one too. So in terms of what Edward has achieved in the January transfer window, reasonably content and happy with what we got, to be fair. In the summer transfer window, I was reasonably happy with what we got, but at the same time, we let players go out. And if you were going to let the likes of Lukaku and Sanchez go, you had to replace them. And Herrera too. We had bloody mares in the summer. I mean, everybody knows that. it's a true calamity what happened in the summer for United. That's why we have struggled so much this season, really, because if we did have Bruno a bit earlier on, say, and maybe another central defensive midfielder, a striker up there, absolutely. We lost out on Haaland. That was a piss poor bit of business by Eddie and the board up, in January, to be fair, because it looks like he's going to go on and be one of the world's best. It's early days. He's young, but he's already performing over there for Dortmund. Good signing for them. They could agree terms with him and his agent. We couldn't. So I don't really know what happened there. That was a bit of a kick in the bollocks. Like, that could have been just another piece of the puzzle that we could have done with this season. But in the end, we got a Garlo, which should hopefully be a temporary fix at least, but it's not really going to be one long term. So, yeah, there you go. I mean, we'll have a little look into what Ed Woodward actually said then. I know it's a little bit boring. Get your thoughts and opinions in. Salim86 comments, we need to sell Phil Jones to China. Phil Jones, look, I'm not his biggest fan in terms of the abilities he has as a footballer, but I'd like him as a human being, to be fair. I think he's a decent sort of a lad to have around. Just, if not alone, for comedic purposes with some of the faces that he pulls. The Primot comments, Glazers belong in prison, crooks. Yeah, I mean, the Glazers obviously have run this club into the ground over the years. I mean, to be fair, they spent a bit of money. Like, Ed Woodward has come out and said that we spent a couple of $100 million in the last year or, on players. But we have seen players go out the other way. We have seen the club hoard out in certain regards and, foolish mistakes made, paying Sanchez to play for Inter and that sort of thing. So it's not really exactly been amazing management from the lads. So Ed Woodward, talking to a fans forum, basically said the signing this week of Bruno Fernandes and return of key players from injury will be a boost to Ollie and the squad as we head into the second half of the season, Woodward said in remarks read at the meeting. We remain in contention in the Europa League. Oh, that's supposed to be a good thing, is it? But anyway, he says we remain in contention for the Europa League and the FA Cup, and as well for the Champions League qualifications. So there's still lots to play for. I mean, we have done ourselves some good in terms of our chances of Champions League qualifications. Let's see what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can do now. We've got a Garlo up there. Hopefully that can help us out for the time being while Rashford's out. Maybe move Marcio out wide and put Igalo up there. Greenwood can do whatever they're around there as well if he wants to, in certain games. So I think we've got some options now up there. And of course, Bruno Fernandes is going to be a key player for us. Chelsea, they're a good few points above us. They're obviously having a decent season considering they had that transfer ban and Hazard going out the other way and not being able to strengthen fully. And, maybe we'll be able to catch them up. If they have a few injury problems, fact is United have had a lot of injury problems. It has cost us this season. The foolishness in the summer transfer window cost us this season because we could have put ourselves in a much better position to be able to deal with these types of injury issues. And we didn't. We didn't sign the players that we needed or the replacements for the players that went out. Calamities from Woodward and the board, to be fair there. But yeah, Champions League qualification, I suppose it is still on the cards, and with the signings we made, it could be more realistic. He says, however, as a club and board, we do recognise that we are not yet where we want to be. It is the overwhelming priority of everyone at this club to get us back to regularly challenging for Premier League and Champions League titles. Although progress may not always be smooth, everyone across the club is focused and committed on playing their part in helping achieve those aims. That's bullshit, isn't it, though, to be fair? Because the Glazers, I don't think, are really fully committed in playing their part to helping achieve those terms, because if they were, they would have spent that money in the summer to replace and invest and improve the side out there on the pitch a little bit more. Sure, we did get those defensive improvements, but it wasn't a strong enough improvement over the course of the team when you consider how many points you were away from City and Liverpool. Sickening, man. Fills my mouth with a little bit of vom every time I think about being off 30 odd points behind the likes of Liverpool and stuff. It's a disgrace that they didn't try and spend and improve and replace the players, or at least keep hold of the bloody players then and invest in that way and have a better squad. Okay, some of the players were shite a minute ago, but Lukaku is doing okay over there. Look, I know he's not the best player and he wasn't the best player for us, but we could have done with him at certain points in this season up until now. It's better to have him than not to have him unless you're going to replace him, which we didn't. So I think that was garbage from the lads there. Right, okay. So yeah, achieving our aims, I don't really know about that. Significant work has already been done and investments made to strengthen the academy, and we're pleased with the progress being made behind the scenes to ensure we have the right players, the right infrastructure, and the right culture to sustain a long-term success. Fair enough. Well, yeah, United have always had a great academy, but I think in recent years you've just seen maybe slightly the growth of other teams' academies and the youth systems just starting to maybe catch up or beat Manchester United. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, if you look at teams like how, like Southampton, how they progress and their youth setup and how they develop players, and of course City and stuff like that these days. I mean, not so much for City because they just buy a lot of their players, but they do have a lot of great youth academy players and facilities and things like that, which United are sort of lacking these days a little bit. Sure, they're invested in that. They need to invest in that. And the fact that our stadium is behind the other stadiums around the country, the top stadiums in terms of cutting-edge, state-of-the-art facilities, I think that is a bloody disgrace for a club like Manchester United. And that's because they've been sucking the money out instead of pumping it back in, like some of the other top owners have been doing, to be fair. Yep, still feeling ill, by the way, lads and lasses. Got a bit of man flu on top of the freaking dental issues that we've been having at the moment. So not a happy bunny right now. Thank you to everybody for your well wishes recently. Yeah, still having some dental issues, getting out in a couple of weeks. It's piss poor. But yeah, pretty wound up at the moment because of that, really. I haven't had much sleep. Literally, I'm sleeping for like 3 hours. Then I wake up with the painkillers wear off with just horrible, horrific, gastastic pain, which is reminiscent of watching United sometimes under David Moyes, but still terrible. And I wake up and it's not good. So I'm not getting much sleep. And yeah. Right, okay, let's get into your comment section for a little bit here. Hang on, I didn't actually finish reading what Eddie said here. He says, similarly, there has been extensive work on our recruitment. Basically, he just rambled on, this guy, didn't he? Bloody hell. Talk about shooting out hot chips of knowledge, Eddie. Like I said, I mean, crikey. He says, with considerable investment in scouting, data and analytics, the recruitment department is working on a clear plan of philosophy, along with Ollie and his coaching staff, so it seems like they have got the emphasis on Ollie's going to be here beyond the end of the season. He says, our focus is on bringing in a combination of experience and the best young players with potential to develop further, fusing graduates from our academy with high-quality acquisitions. Well, to be fair, United has always been about that. It's always been about promoting the youth, blooding the youth, and building teams from the youth academy. Sure, we buy big name players and we bring star players into the club over the years, but traditionally United does produce their own players. The class of 92, going back to the Busby Babes, and in terms of what we're doing now, you have got players like Greenwood who have come through. You have got players like Brandon Williams that are coming on and bursting through the scene, and these young players that we're signing at young ages, and that are coming through the ranks. So yeah, I mean, that is happening. I'm reasonably happy with how we've blooded the youth and how we've brought them through. Maybe it's sort of out of necessity, but that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes you can discover a great player like Spurs did with Harry Kane when they had to play him out of necessity, or when we did with Rashford, or Brandon Williams this season. These are great moments to prove yourselves for these players, and some players are just big game players. They can step up and they can play, and they can do it on the big stage. Some players have all the abilities, but you put them on there and they Tahith Chong it this season. Do you know what I mean? When he gets put in the first team. So yeah, they want to make high quality acquisitions as well. So promoting from the youth, making high-quality acquisitions. Our recruitment process focuses on analysis and selection of players over the course of a season with a view to the following summer transfer window. As part of the rebuild, we see this coming summer as an important opportunity. Right, okay, there's so much more that this twat said, but I'm not going to frickin' read the rest of it because it literally goes on forever and ever. Sit down, potato, okay? We get it. All right, you're begging for your life. We get it. Stop it. It's pitiful. All right, to be fair, what he did do, though, is, he spent a little bit in the summer window. He spent a bit in the January window out of necessity, really, because there were threats on his life. So he has, him and the Glazers, they have shown a little bit recently that they're trying to play a little bit of ball with the fans here. Now, I'm not saying we should get off their backs. I'm not saying they're doing a great job overnight, not at all. Some of the appointments they've made over the years, some of the handling of the club just in general in terms of recruitment appointments, transfers, ins and outs, wages, all that sort of stuff, I think is very questionable. And it's not good enough, and we don't want them as our owners. But hopefully while they are here, and while the parasites are actually here, we can work in sort of symbiosis with these twats. And we can get on their backs enough for them to give us pretty much what we want, hopefully, which is more signings, hopefully Ed Woodward and what he's come out with here. there's some sort of realism behind it, and in the summer we will be seeing players coming in, and we will be seeing us get that top quality striker that we so desperately need. I don't think it's going to be a Garlo, even if he comes in and has an absolute screamer and just has a great few months on loan. He's on 300k a week. We're not going to get a Garlo. So somebody, we need a top quality striker, and that's if he's quality enough anyway, which hopefully he will prove to be for us for the remainder of the season. But yeah, I just want to see United invest in the right areas, just try and close that gap. Whenever, like, over in Spain, okay, I know it's a different climate and everything, different situation out there. Barcelona and Real Madrid, they dominate. When you see Barcelona go leaps ahead, and they've clawed ahead, and they've massively created a gap between them and Real Madrid underneath them. What did Real Madrid do? They go out there and they freaking Galactico it up. And they try and close that gap with key signings, massive signings, huge signings that are going to be there for the next however many years, 5-6 years, and they do that. That's what United need to do. We need to go out there, make some statements, get some quality players. You know the video I made the other day about transfers that I would like to see come in. Some of those players would be excellent. They're not the most realistic, some of them, but, players like Grealish and Werner would be brilliant, and, Sancho, that's, it's unrealistic, but whatever, and who was the other one I said? Indeed, he's a decent sort of a central defensive midfielder, young, 23, getting better, showing himself to be a force in the Premier League this season. These are the sorts of players that United could do with right now, because they're the right sort of ages, they're already showing great quality, and they could be brilliant for United for the next 5 or 6 years. More longer than that, a lot of them. So it pisses me off that we haven't got these sort of players already, but I hope what Ed Woodward is saying here is true, and that United are going to fully invest in the side in the summer, and that United are going to be in a position to, okay, maybe not challenge the likes of Liverpool next season, because look at them, they haven't lost a game all season, they're way ahead of everyone else, including ourselves by a mile, but certainly get back up there to being in with a shout and looking like we're progressing and clawing into the top 3, say, and getting up there and challenging the likes of City and getting scalps over the likes of Liverpool in games and putting up decent performances and entertaining and attacking and doing some good stuff out there. That's all we really want as fans. Anyway, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's tuning in right now. It's a late one. Thank you very much for randomly getting in here. Please do us a favour if you are watching. Smash us a cheeky little like on this video. Also, if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. And you can smash that little bell end as well if you want to be notified when we post. Couple of super chats I've missed out here. I just want to read them out. Thank you so much to these two legends who have sent them in. Ryan Burberspin 9. Thank you very much, Ryan Burberspin. He comments and says Grealish in. So he would like to see Grealish come in, and maybe Pogba would be going out in the summer. We'll talk about that in a moment, but yes, Grealish, I think, is a great player that United could do with, and it's the most realistic of the ones that we talked about. He's a Villa player. Who knows if they'll even be up come the end of the season? Maybe they will, but they could easily go down. He'll definitely be wanting to play in the Premier League. He wants to play for a bigger club anyway. United will give him that platform. It's the right club at the right time. He will get game time. He'll get to play. It's not like he'll be going to join a City or Liverpool or something, and he might not get the game time and might turn into another Scott Sinclair or whatever. No, he will actually play a lot for United. So it's a no-brainer for everybody involved. Villa can cash in. They can get, I don't know how much we paid for him, 50 million? What is it? 60 million? Who knows? But a significant amount of money, and we would get a good player, good young hungry player who's got a little bit of arrogance about him, got a bit of swagger, and is a talented player and does look hungry and could maybe add something to this United side. Not just in terms of qualities on the pitch, but like mentally as well. Like not being an absolute freaking melter out there. Holy shitbags! Matty Rush has just got in here with a stupid. I better just read Alex's out first though, which is also freaking lunatic-ish. But crikey, lads and lasses, thank you so much for this. You commented and said, Alex has said, I say give Ollie one more window. Right now, he's only signed 4 players. I want him to have the same fairness LVG and Mourinho got. If he signs 6 to 8 players and we're still bad, then yes, sack him. Also, join the group chat. Legend, yeah, thank you very much for that, Alex. True legend of the channel. Thanks for getting involved there with that super chat. And that's in some insane support you just showed the pig there. So much appreciated, my friend. Yes, I agree with you. Ollie needs another transfer window. We talked about it extensively throughout the season. Even if he finishes like 7th, with how we started the season. Okay, maybe with Bruno and Igalo coming in, that's not good enough now. But top 6 or whatever, I think it's kind of respectable for the squad that we had and the help that he had. So give him another window, allow him to sign some players. But let's see what he does between now and the end of the season as well. Because if we go on a complete downward spiral now, and he's just not coaching the team well, and he's bringing Jesse Lingard on to play instead of Greenwood or whatever, and doing just absolute calamities out there, then of course we're going to have to talk about it at the end of the season. But he's got until now into the end of the season to keep his job or to lose his job. If he has a calamity, he will lose his job. If he has a great run-in, or even just a respectable run-in now, he will probably still be the manager at the start of the next season. And I think he needs new players. If you look at the signings he's made, so far, Igalo on loan, it's an inspired move, to be fair, just to get him in as cover on 100k a week. Somebody who's passionate and is going to fight his heart out for a few months for us. Bruno Fernandes, one for now, one for the future, could be one of the top players in the world. Brilliant signing, that one, I think, for the money. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, one of the best right-backs in the league already. Fantastic signing. Harry Maguire, maybe it's not quite been the justification of 80 million quid, but it is definitely a good one for, progression of the side. Like he is a leader. I'm hoping he can replicate some of the decent spells he's had, but he's also had some bad spells. So let's see how he progresses. But I'm sure he's going to be a good player for us. And of course, who else did we sign? Dan James, had a little bit of a ropey time recently. Benefit from the winter break, I think, more than anybody, and has definitely proven himself to be a good young player. And he's still only 21, and he's been brilliant for us this season. So look, great signings. Ollie's made some great signings. Let's see what he can do with another few more signings with another window. Who knows what can happen there? Thank you so much for that, Alex. Matt Rush, have you been smoking the old crystal meth, my friend? Either way, you must be a baller, my friend. But thank you very much for getting in here with that, my friend. I just called you my friend like 4 times there. That's unnecessary. That's overkill. Anyway, Matt Rush, thanks so much for getting in there. He says, get well soon, pig. Woodward is a total knob telling the world we want to spend in the summer. Matt Rush, thanks so much for that, my friend. That's awesome. I've said it again. Woodward, I think, is a total knob. I agree with you there. And in one way, you're right, because look, to be fair, everybody knows we need to spend in the summer anyway. This United side is lacking. We do have to strengthen in key areas. We were trying to sign Haaland. We got knocked back on that. We've got a loan signing in. So everyone knows we need to sign a striker in the summer. That is pretty much guaranteed. Now, in terms of other players and investment and doing what Ed Woodward said, which is getting the core of players that United need over the next however many years, I think, yeah, you're right there. He's definitely had a mare there, because United always overpay for players anyway. Teams can hold United over a barrel and bend us over the barrel to ransom, pretty much. So you often see us paying a premium for players. I mean, we paid 27 million for Fellaini at the time. Do you know what I mean? He had a bloody 21 million release clause like the month before. We could have got him, but no, he was actually Moyes' 8th choice. That's why, even though Moyes had him, or 4th choice, whatever it actually was, because we waited till the last bit of the transfer window when he signed a new contract with a different clause taken out. It's ridiculous. So, I just think we need to spend a little bit in the summer, as you say. Woodward's not made it very good for us in terms of spending, because now teams know we need to spend. Matt Rush, you're a top man. Thank you so much for that, mate. Sorry, I've got a little bit of gas going on there. I don't know what to say with that one, my friend. That is bloody awesome. Thanks very much for supporting the channel there, my friend, honestly. Matt Rush, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Rudd has sent one in as well, with one of these. Alex Rudd, thank you so much to you as well, my friend. Top bloody man. Legends getting in the chat here tonight. Thanks so much for getting in here. So shout out to Matt Rush, Alex there, of course, Ryan Berberspin9, and Alex Rudd as well. Thanks very much for being a part of me. I want to give a shout out to the few people that are tuning in, the new viewers that I can see here. Richard James, how you doing, Richard? Nice to see you too. Football with Brownie, great to see you too. Check out his channel. Football with Brownie. Ruthless Sausage, as I don't believe a word Woodward says. Very true, Ruthless Sausage. Like, we should just discount this really as absolute bullshit, to be fair. Like, is he going to spend? We're supposed to be signing players and improving the side for years. He's always got United's best interest in heart. He doesn't. He clearly got, the Glazers' best interest in heart. He's their little puppet man. Alex says, join the group chat for F's sake, lads. Everybody join the group chat here on Telegram. I need to join it too. So it's a offline, or when we're not on here, there's like an offline chat which you can join on this Telegram app, which Alex Rincon or is dealing with, and Alex Rudd so very kindly set up. So thank you very much for getting in there with that. Flow Rider, how you doing? Comments, Ed Woodward, April Fool's Day came early. I mean, yeah, he's just an absolute joker, to be fair, isn't he? He's an absolute freaking joker. Salim86, thanks for getting in here as well, my friend. Comments, Glazers out, Woodward out, always a popular comment with me. Adil Abid, I'm very good, Adil. Thank you very much. I hope you're good too. Thanks for stopping by. Paul Lucas says, Bruno into Igalo for the win. Yeah, I mean, that would be brilliant if we could see that combination connecting. Bruno creating, Igalo finishing. I'd like to see that. I think Igalo up there right now is probably our best option. No worries, Football with Brownie. You're a top lad, mate. Thank you very much for getting in here and getting involved in the live chat, as is everybody else here. Andrew Cos is finding big names harder than it's been in a long time. Very true. Like, the thing is with United in the transfer window, we're not that big club. We don't have top 4 football guaranteed. Let's see if we do at the end of the season. Hopefully we do. That would be huge for us in the transfer market. It does make a big difference. But in terms of attracting big names, we don't have that big name manager that players want to play for. Players want to go and play for Klopp. They want to go and play for Guardiola. They want to go and play for Mourinho. But they don't necessarily want to play for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the same way. Plus the Glazers, the owners, the toxicity around the club at the top there. It's a bit off-putting for potential players. The team, it's not the best. You know, are we going to challenge for things? So getting the top players is difficult for United right now. Not to say that we can't do it. We've shown that we have in the last few years alone. You know, Zlatan Ibrahimovic being one of them. What a fantastic signing that was. Brilliant top player. And we can sign big players, but we do need to hunt around in that pool of players a little bit lower down. Timo Werner and stuff like that. Is it a little bit too difficult for us to sign? There's going to be a host of top clubs wanting that guy. And especially if we don't have top 4, are we going to really be able to sign a player like that? So I totally agree with what you're saying there. Like, we just don't have that same pull. It's more difficult to find those top tier players. So that's why I'm thinking players like, you know, like the Harry Maguires of this world and the Wan-Bissakas, they're the sort of signings you want to be making. They're good signings. They're big signings. They're proven in the league. You know, players like Ndidi would be a good signing like that as well. It's not this big mega star signing. Grealish is another one, you know. They're ready to take the step up, but they're not there yet. And they're not the finished article, but they've got the potential and they're already showing it now. So that's where we're sort of hunting around in right now, which isn't the worst thing in the world. If you look what Klopp did at Liverpool and how he's built the team over the years, it's very commendable, and that's the sort of thing United should be trying to do, sensibly piecing it together over the years and working away and having faith in the manager and having faith in the coaching staff and just letting them do their thing for an extended period of time. Look, I'm not talking years and years of failure here, but I'm talking at least given the amount of time that Jose had, which is, 2.5 years? Ollie's not had anywhere near that. He's not even had half that time, so let's see what he can do with a little bit more. Poisonous Nut, thank you very much. He says the skits have been hilarious, Pig. Nicola has been doing great as well. Glory, glory, Man United. Get better soon. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, those skits are pretty random, to be fair, but I'm glad you guys like them. They do actually get a lot of comments and likes on them, so we're going to continue doing them. I'll probably try and get one out a week. I was thinking, because her name's Nicola, so I was thinking maybe the series could be called like Pig and Knickers, but maybe that doesn't really make sense, especially for any Yankee Doodle dandies watching. Don't even know what a knicker is, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? And it's a ladies' underwear garment. In the UK we call them knickers. So if it was pig and knickers, and also there's an expression where you're talking about a pig in knickers, like Miss Piggy or whatever. It's a bit of a harsh expression you might say about somebody you don't find very attractive. Oh, look at that pig in knickers, that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So pig and knickers. What do you think? With a K. Anyway, I don't know about that. I just realised it sounds a little bit like something else as well, which is not good. So maybe we'll bench that one. Here, Snark comments New York Knicks. Matt Rush comments tip watching again, Pig. Yeah, we've been doing some random videos. Thank you very much for watching. I'm just going to address the Pig and the Hen show thing earlier. So this morning I set up a stream for the Pig and the Hen show. We were going to do a bonus Pig and the Hen show today. Apologies for anybody that did see that. It was only on there for a few minutes. And also I put a little story on which I subsequently took off like 5 minutes later because Henry was going to come and do a bonus Pig then with me, but in the end he was unable to. So the show should be still going ahead tomorrow, hopefully. But basically Henry may be, well, we'll talk about it more tomorrow, but, might be trying to get out of Guangzhou at the moment, so he's just trying to sort a few things out, get out while he can. Okay. So what did I want to talk about here? There's one other thing I wrote down. Okay, yes, here. Great stuff. Sky Sports came out with some bullshit earlier about United's 99 treble winning side versus Liverpool's side which is currently invincible in the Premier League this season. Who's the best team? Who gets into what team? What's the best starting 11? And oh my days, did it piss me off. Because fair enough, they've got a couple of players in there, and I can sort of understand it. I mean, if you're talking about United's team, you know, the few seasons of that team, absolutely not a Liverpool player gets in there. Sorry, not one single Liverpool player gets in there at all, to me. Maybe Virgil van Dijk, you can argue, but no, is he really better than Stam? You know, he's not dislodging Stam, and certainly later on, he wouldn't be dislodging Vidic or Rio Ferdinand for me either. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's so young. Sure, he had a big hand in them, you know, in their Champions League triumph and then beating that corner in the semi-final against Barca and all that stuff. I know he's a great young talent, but come on, it's a bit early for him to be edging out Gary Neville right now, I think. I think that is piss poor from people to suggest that Alexander-Arnold is a better player than Gary Neville right now. And look, Gary Neville was never a Roberto Carlos of a wing-back. But what he was he was dependable, he was solid, he was very, very determined and motivated and passionate out there. And I tell you as well, he could get down, he could whip some great balls in. He was just a solid player, and he was great for England, he was great for United. For me, Gary Neville at this moment, maybe Alexander-Arnold could go on and surpass him. I'm not saying that, he's a young player, but right now, come on. Neville's achieved more in the game. He deserved to be at the right back spot. And then, I'd also put... what else did they have? It was freaking absolutely gashtastic. Okay, Mo Salah. Mo Salah's a great player. He actually is. He actually is one of the best players in the world. He's shown that some of the goal scoring rates that he's put together in a Premier League campaign is unbelievable, to be fair. Like, he is one of the best players in the world. He's a great player. But at the same time, man, to discount David Beckham's son, to discount David Beckham, the man responsible for both the freaking corners that came in the Champions League final in 99, United's treble winnings, I mean, come on now. Come on, it sickens me. Don't even do that to yourselves, lads and lasses out there. Don't try and let them convince you that Salah's a better player than Bex. Bex wipes the freaking floor with Salah, I'm telling you now. The balls, you know, it's a different, okay, they're totally different players. Totally different players. They really are. But the free kicks from Bex, the dead ball scenarios, the crossing, the passing ability, the pinpoint passing. I mean, I love Beckham. I really, really do. He's one of my favourite players for United all time. So I am obviously massively biased at the same time. But what do you guys think about that? I wanted to just bring that up because realistically, I don't really have a problem with anyone else being in the side. I think maybe Fabinho got in their team in the midfield there, which I think the other option was Nicky, but it was just our final side. This is the thing, like if you're choosing just a four-man midfield, not a Liverpool player gets in there. From that era, anyway, forget the final game, if like Scholes didn't play or whatever, or, Keane, just we're talking about Giggs, Scholes, Keane, Beckham. I mean, that's it. There's no argument. There's no conversation. You know, they had to make a 4-3-3 formation on there just to try and shoehorn in a Liverpool player. When everybody knows when you're coming up with an all-time Premier League list or a comparison like this, you go with a 4-4-2, of course. So yeah, I think it was just them to shoehorn an extra Liverpool player in there. But that's what I think. What do you guys think about that one? Paul Lucas comments, Bex could hit a dime from 40 yards out. What an absolute technician of the ball. The way he could pass it, pass master, the crossing, the phrase bend it like Beckham came for a very good reason. It was just that crossing ability, the way he could just curl and pass it into the top left-hand corner or whatever corner. And just, all those free kicks we take for granted. You think about how many free kicks David Beckham scored in a Manchester United shirt and well beyond Manchester United as well, and in an England shirt. There's quite a lot of them. I know there's a lot because I always tell people to watch this video because it's just pure entertainment and it's just awesome, and it shows you what a great free kick taker he really was. And for any younger players, any younger people watching, I'm sure you know a lot about these older players. People like Roberto Carlos, people like David Beckham. They're legends of the game. And if you grew up in England, and even if you're like 15, I'm sure you know who David Beckham is. But just go and search all of David Beckham's free kick goals on YouTube. All of David Beckham's free kick goals. And just watch it. It goes on for ages. It goes on for shitloads of time. Because there's freaking hundreds of them. For Real Madrid, for AC Milan, for LA Galaxy, for United. He was scoring free kicks all over the gaff. So check it out. But yeah, what a player. I miss him. So I just think he is better than Salah. Maybe at the end of Salah's career, we'll see what happens. But You know, I don't know. I think people are just getting a little bit too carried away with this Liverpool team. Okay, fair enough. They're doing something amazing. They're actually breaking records. They're actually the most successful team up until this point in a Premier League campaign. They've only dropped 2 points against United. The rest of the games they've won. 25 games is it we've played now, and they've won 24, drawn 1. That's the case, and it's just unbelievable. Nobody does that. Nobody does that in this day and age. It's so difficult. Not just to be invincible like Arsenal, but to actually not just only draw one game and to have won all the rest. That's absolutely incredible. So yeah, they're doing some crazy stuff out there. And if Klopp exceeds 101 points, then he wins the league, then crikey, definitely deserved to get Manager of the Year, doesn't he? I mean, I know Chris Wilder over at Sheffield United's done an amazing job. If they get into the European spots, it's like any other season that would get Manager of the Year. But could you really give Chris Wilder Manager of the Year for getting, say, 6th or 5th or 6th with Sheffield United, which is unreal for a team coming up to get them into European places, don't get me wrong. But Klopp to go a season pretty much, if they went undefeated in this season and they exceeded the points tally of the highest points tally, I think you'd have to give it to Klopp. They're the best. He's managed the best team. I don't know. It's a difficult one. Gungshi in the house. How you doing, Gungers? He comments, Liverpool can begin to be considered seriously on par with Fergie Era United when they win the Premier League 13 times. Oh, thanks. Okay, thank you, Gungshi. I see what you did there. Okay, because I was thinking you were going to say Fergie Era when they win the Premier League, but then the 13 times on the end there, that was good. I was thinking, oh no, you're not comparing Liverpool to Fergie's United. No, but you wouldn't do that, Gungshi. And you didn't. I like what you did there. So, yeah, of course, they're only actually a couple of league titles behind us, aren't they? We surpassed them 20, and I think they've got 18 overall league titles, including the English Football League before, the Premier League came into being in 92. So, yes, I think that is, it's a fair comment. They haven't done it consistently, they haven't sustained it, they haven't even won it yet, Gungshi. That's the funny thing. Look, we all think they're going to win. Surely they're going to win it now. They couldn't bottle it now, could they? Even Liverpool, the Merseyside bottling company, could not bottle this now, surely. You would think, Gungers, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, could they? Maybe the cheeky little bet would be to have a tenner on Liverpool not winning the league right now. But no, to be fair, they're going to win the league, and they deserve it, and it's their first one in the Premier League era. It does claw one overall league title back, but yeah, in the modern era, obviously, United have dominated 13 Premier League, domination of the Premier League era, up until Fergie left anyway. So, it's been a shit show since then. Thank you very much for getting in here, Gungshi. Great to see you, man. Andrew Cole's comment, Zidane never took on the English leagues. Yeah, it's a shame some of the players that never came and played in the English leagues. Like, I would have loved to have seen some of the old school legends playing, like you say, Zidane in the English league, or Messi in the English league, or going a bit back, players like Gabriel Batistuta. He would have been fantastic. Obviously, Fat Ronaldo. He'd have been great to see play for a Premier League side. So yeah, it's a shame we don't get to see some of the top players in the world. But then, obviously, some of the other leagues don't get graced with some of the talents that come from the Premier League. That's just how it is. I mean, especially in terms of importing domestic players abroad, it's not something that England really does a lot. I mean, I can probably count on my fingers and my toes the amount of high-profile players that have gone abroad to play for the biggest and best teams around Europe. Your David Beckhams and your Gary Linekers of this world and that sort of thing, and your Paul Gascoignes and your Paul Inces, and there's not that many. There's not that many. So I think we keep a lot of our homegrown talents in this country a lot, which is obviously why you've got a big premium on signing your own players as well. Nick Pendragon says, good day, Mr. Pig. Good day to you, Nick. Thank you very much for getting in, my friend. Great to see you as always, my friend. The Pendragon in the house. Bernard Dean comments, Bex is still class. Yeah, to be fair, I'm hoping that he just sort of registers himself to play for his own Inter Miami team. And just, if he's needed, pops on, take a little cheeky free kick. It's who would you rather have? Do you know what I mean? Who would you rather have? Come on, so you're playing, I don't know, New York Red Bull in the MLS Cup or whatever, and it's 89th minute. It's the 89th minute. You get a free kick. It's 1-1. It's 1-1 going into extra time. Or it's 0-1. You're losing. Who do you want to take that free kick? Beckham at his age off the bench, or some guy who plays for Inter Miami who's probably, I don't know, what would we call this guy? like Jorge Esposito or something is probably appropriate. I would think that you'd rather go with Bex, but who knows? Maybe he's just a little bit out of the game, but he's still class. When we saw that Man United Legends game recently, Bex just absolutely was quality, wasn't he? So yeah. Oh yeah. G Wolf United, great to see you, says Beckham all day. Has comments, where's the green screen? The green screen has been retired temporarily, but it will be making another appearance. We will be improving the look of this channel, so don't worry about that, my friend. Yeah, I mean, we need to make some signings. Woodward, at the end of the day, just to summarise, Woodward has had a bit of a calamity running things. Hopefully, him and the Glazers are understanding that the fans just aren't going to take it, and we need to invest fully back into the side now. We need to really try and close the gap with City and Liverpool, and that's what it basically boils down to. The speculation about Jack Grealish on, if United don't really want to talk too much about that, I think it's probably will happen. I think, like I discussed earlier on in the season, I think that will happen. Also, just in other Manchester United news, United have applied for safe standing in the stadium, so that's quite interesting. 1,500 seats, or standing. What would you call that? Yeah, areas for 1,500 people. 1,500 tickets, basically, for allocation. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's awesome to bring standing football back. Obviously, if you've ever been to a stadium where they do have the terraces, or they did have the terraces, it's pretty damn awesome. I personally had a really bad experience with a football terrace once, which was when I was, 8 years old or something. We went to see Bournemouth play United at Dean Court back in the day. And Beckham was playing, actually. And basically, I think it was one other player. Maybe it was Gary Pallister or Steve Bruce at the back, and then you never heard of anybody else. And then we were all waiting out the side at the back there for Beckham and Fergie and these guys, and then they just pulled out this side alley in this Bentley limousine, blacked out windows, and just gunned it past everyone. So that was a bit gutting, but either way, and then just the youth players came out, and we were like, great. Those youth players, by the way, probably turned out to be freaking awesome. I can't even remember now who they were, but yes. Where was I going? Oh, right, yeah. So basically, I was just a little bit in front of one, and I sort of, for some reason, I leaned backwards, and I thought it was behind me, and I thought I was going to lean on it, and I actually just completely missed it, sort of smashed my head on it, and then they're concrete steps underneath the terrace, and my back and my ass and everything just clattered the freaking concrete steps, man, and it was freaking horrible. It was painful. And then, do you know what I did? I blamed it on my brother. Even though I'd actually just fallen over myself, because that's the sort of little prick I was when I was 8 years old. But there you go. Anyway, shit story. Mark Sin, how you doing, my friend? Thanks for stopping by. He comments, Mark, is the Pig and Hen show happening tomorrow? Mark Sin, sorry there was no Pig and the Hen show today, guys. Didn't work out in the end. We were hoping to do a bonus show, but we couldn't get on there in the end and make it happen. But tomorrow there should be a show. Look, there absolutely should be. But like I say, Henry's in the process of looking into maybe some options about whether I'll stay in or leaving Guangzhou right now. So we don't know. I don't know is the answer. So we'll discuss it. Hopefully we can get him on and have a chat with him. If not, there will be some content. But yeah, I think things are obviously getting pretty serious out there if he's considering that now. Yeah, Cristiano Daniel says, hi Piggy, what happened to the show with Hen? Well, we'd organised to do one, and then we just weren't able to do it because Henry's trying to organise some things at the moment, and it just wasn't a good idea to do one at that time. So yeah, we should be doing one tomorrow though. Thanks very much for getting here. Matt Rush comments, I met Ronaldo at the MEN and asked him not to move to Madrid. It didn't work, hee hee. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome that you met the guy, to be fair. I mean, what a player. Imagine if he didn't move to Madrid. I know he wanted to fulfill that childhood dream and everything and play for Madrid. And look what it did for his career. Like, you can't argue, the multiple Champions Leagues. And he's gone down as one of the best players in the world. He did win a Ballon d'Or at United. He may would have done the same thing here. He progressed and he developed, and I'm sure he would have done. But, yeah, he definitely reached the very, very highest points of the game in every single department. The only thing he's not won, obviously, is the World Cup with Portugal. It's always difficult because Portugal are not, they're a very good team, very good nation, but they're not one of the top nations. It's difficult for them to really compete. They won the Euros, of course, so he's done it on that stage. Yeah, Ryan Burberspin says, stay safe, Henry. The Saint says, Cinnamon, yes. The Cinnamon. Brilliant. Pig versus the Hen, question of sin. So yeah, the Cinnamon, obviously we did speak the other day. I'm sure you've got a bunch of questions prepared for us tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. I really hope Henry is around. I'm not saying that it's not happening, but hopefully it does happen. We'll see what happens with Hen tomorrow. Anyway, lads and lasses, I think I'm going to pretty much wrap this one up. It's been awesome talking to you guys. Thanks for stopping by. It's late here, so impressed that you guys are even tuning in right now. Honestly, each and every one of you, the usual legends. Alex Rod, Gunchi, Here Snark, Ruthless Sausage, Inner United, Matt Rush, Mark Sin, JP, JMS getting in here, The Saint, The Ruddinator, The Rinconator, Hot Shot, Alex Norman. Thank you very much for getting in here too. Cristiano Daniel, Sam Ingram, you know, all of you legends out there. Edwin Lamptey, Andrew Cos, Izzy San, Sam Ingram, I think I said you, Lee Davies, I try to say everybody because I love you guys for tuning in. Thanks very much for being here. Ms528, shout out to you as well. Don't think I would forget you. Anyway, lads and lasses, we are going to wrap this video up, but have a great rest of your evening. Thanks for tuning in to the channel tonight. Like I say, hopefully there will be a Pig in the Hen show tomorrow. Keep your eyes peeled for that. If not, I'll be jumping on and doing something. But you know, there will hopefully be one. But obviously, Henry's sort of family safety and priority and everything is obviously the key at the moment. Pig in the Hen show may be on a wait. Who knows? Maybe we even end up with a live Pig in the Hen show with back in the studio. To be fair, I'm not too keen on that idea right now. Do you know what I mean? Unless he's going through a rigorous screening process and going through quarantine and stuff and gets the all clear and has documentation to show me through a glass cubicle. I'm not so sure I want to be sitting in the same room as that guy after getting off an international flight from Guangzhou, China. Just saying. Anyway, but we'll leave it there. Thanks very much for being in here tonight. You have a great one. See you tomorrow. Chuck a like on this video if you are tuning in. Anything that I've discussed in this video about Woodward or anything else I've been rambling on, I've got off so many different tangents. You know, thank you very much for getting in here, but also come back once this video is finished and get involved in the not live comment section with anything we've discussed, any of your thoughts and opinions. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'll respond to them. Everybody else can respond to them. We can have a nice little debate. We can have a nice little mass debate out there in the comment section. So please do get involved, all you legends of the channel. Once again, I just want to say, I'm blown away by those couple of super chats we got in there from Alex Rudd, Alex Rincon, Matt Rush, and of course, Ryan Berberspin 9 as well. Like, that is nutty. Thanks so much for getting in, lads, and supporting the channel that way. Shout out to all the Patreon followers as well. There's a link in the description here. We're going to end it now and we're going to run the rolling credits to thank the Patreon viewers. But once again, all of you legends for tuning in, you know who you are. Demir Lucina, you're just joining us. Go back and watch the start of the video, my friend. But shout out to you, Matthew Rush, Gungshi, JP the Saint, Inner United, Alex Rudd. Everybody, thank you for stopping by. This is the Pig. Take it easy. Have yourselves a good one. I'll see you soon. And come on, United. It's time now for the end of the show. Hey everyone, so thanks for stopping by here. You're a bloody bunch of legends, I'll say it once again. Niels Freund, he gets a cheeky little shout out as well, tuning in from Norway. Thanks for stopping by. Elite also gets one at the end here. And these lads and lasses who names you see rolling down your screen right now, these are what we call the Patreon legends, the star patron. Thanks for supporting the channel on Patreon and helping us improve this channel and hopefully grow it. So thank you very much for believing in this channel and supporting it. You're a bunch of legends, and this is just to thank each and every single one of you guys that you can see right here. Anyway, there's also somebody, Sev the Panda, we need to add on here. I just want to say sorry to Sev the Panda. You are going to be added on here very, very shortly. So special shout out to Sev. Anyway, you take it easy. Have a great evening. I'll see you very, very soon. This is the Pig on Flying Pig United saying stay classy, come on United, and take it easy.